Hey, what's up, all the peoples? This is Ridiculous Badger coming at you, and every once in a while I do a video, so that's what I'm going to do today, because I was going through the patch notes in Eve Echoes. We have a huge patch coming up. It's for Indomitable, and it's going to include, supposedly, Sov, but along with Sov comes a laundry list of space paperwork. So let's go through the space paperwork. Okay, Echoes will Dear pilots of New Eden, Eve Echoes will undergo maintenance on blah 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 and will take approximately a lot of time to complete. During this time, players will be unable to log into servers. We kindly ask for your understanding and patience during maintenance. So we got a few things, we got a lot to go through here, so let's just start plowing through it. Number one, sovereignty features. Added the corporation citadel and corresponding industrial and market options. So this is going to be another spot where you could drop in nullsec space, and you're going to have access to all the industrial features and market options that are going to come with that citadel. You know, kind of like the Capsuleer outpost, but a few different wrinkles in there. Two, players can now anchor corporation citadels in claimable nullsec regions and declare sovereignty. That's going to put you on the map. It's going to say to anybody else that this is your space, and it's going to give people a 12 billion-isk reason to come after yous. Number three, the first version of the Corporation Citadel comes with the following bonuses. This is great because we didn't really know what the bonuses were, so it's great that it starts with some bonus. Otherwise, why put your name on the map? You know, why let people come at you? And those are the reverse engineering success rate plus 5% and material manufacturing efficiency plus 1%. These might not seem like great bonuses, but the thing about corporations and alliances in Eve Echoes is that everything is about cumulative effort. So number one, that plus 1% material manufacturing efficiency is, you know, across your alliance is going to help people. But number two, the reverse engineering success rate bonus is a big deal because people right now are gunning for faction battleships. You know, that's the mainstay. Those are the heavy guns right now. So having that plus 5% is a big deal because right now, you know, even at your best, even at the best skills, it's still a coin flip, and those wrecks are not space cheap. Number four, add the alliance management mechanic. Yeah, this is all like, you know, space paperwork, but expanding the alliance's max to 30 corporations is, you know, that's a whole topic in and of itself. It's great that they're doing it, but honestly, we have so many corporations in the game right now that are just shells of like what they started the game at. And, you know, this is gonna, a lot of alliances, I'm sure, have been asking for this to have, like, you know, corporations increase to 30 corps in their alliance. But honestly, this is something that, like, you're going to find them, you're still going to find those alt corps basically in alliances. And, you know, there's very few alliances in the game that have 30, like, actual active corps that should be 30 corps. And, you know, most of them should just decompress. But that's space politics. We're here for space paperwork. And increase the number of customizable corporation positions to 10. That's a big deal. Corps really needed this. They needed ranks. So this is going to allow you to set up very specific permissions. And rather than, I believe it was 6 before, now you've got 10. That's a big deal. New fleet features. This is where it gets my space heart pumping. Number one, fleets can have up to 51 members, going up from 10 members to 51, and can have 5 squads and 1 commander. Added the fleet commands, fleet focus, fire, and go as a fleet. That's awesome. We definitely needed that. We had fleet unfocus a target or unlock a target, and you could share a position, but now you could give, like, basically the equivalent of an approach command or the equivalent of a target command, and have everybody react to that, and everybody just move at the same time. Everybody target the same target, and that just helps with communication. Number three, added a fleet loot log that can be viewed by anyone. Also, huge deal. There's ninja looters in the game, and as if that weren't bad enough, there's people in fleets that are, like, not obeying the fleet commander's rules for looting, and this will help to get rid of all that suspicion, like, oh, we didn't get good drops this time, I think so-and-so looted. Now you can just check the log. Awesome. 4, added an option in personal settings that allows the game to automatically reject all fleet invitations. Yeah, they should have had this at launch, because why did they throw this in here? Well, one tactic is that people will throw out fleet invitations, see who catches them, see who accepts them, and then when that happens, they'll warp to you and they'll blap you. So it's very important. Don't accept fleet invitations from people you don't know. So people were doing this, and people were doing it by accident, and then moments later they were getting blapped. And so they even realized what they were doing. It just like you have that muscle memory to accept a fleet invitation. So it's great that they added this in. 5, added the function to share fleet card to all channels. So the way that they're rolling out with these fleets is they could be, you're not when you disconnect from the game, you're still going to be in your fleet. The fleet is not so much an ad hoc strike force coming forward as it is going to be an organizational tool. So you're going to be able to have standing fleets. If you're in an alliance and you live in a station, you're going to be able to have a station defense standing fleet. When people log in, they could, when they want to do station defense or system defense, home defense, they could join the fleet. They could drop out when they're done. So because of that, they need to add some ways for you to find the fleets and for you to join the fleets and advertise the fleets. So now you could share that card, or it's really just a link, and when you click on it, it says like the name of the fleet, and when you click on it, like you could join it now, and your application could be approved or denied by Fleet Command. So that's super cool. 6, the commander can synchronize command filter settings to the squads. I'm not sure exactly what this is. I believe that this is like for the new 51-man fleets, that the fleet commander can decide when he sends a fleet command which squads it goes to. We'll have to see when this drops. I tested a little bit when we had test server, but I don't know more than that. Now we'll get into the nitty gritty. New features. 1, an event for new pilots to help look. If you didn't pay into the game before and you're feeling left behind, if you're a new pilot, like you could come and you could generate a lot of skill points really quickly, and that's going to allow you to catch up so you don't feel left in the dust. Fine. 2, added star maps for all systems. I don't know which star maps we're missing. I don't know if this includes the drone regions that were locked down. We'll have to see once it launches. A lot of the times when these games update their game, it could become difficult to read their patch notes, because a lot of the times the patch notes are translated from another language. They don't have the best localization, so sometimes we're playing a little bit of like we've got our investigator hat on. Number 3, statistics, including sovereignty info and destroyed ship info added to the star map. Great, we'll see exactly how in depth it goes. I mean, the sovereignty info, we know. Look, they couldn't launch Sov without having your capability to throw like your name on the map. That's the whole point of Sov. But the destroyed ship info, we'll have to see exactly how in depth that goes. If that's like for a period of time, or if that's like total stats. If it's for a period of time, that could really help you to plan out your space trucking routes or your space routing routes. If you see that a system has seen a spike in destroyed ships lately, you could steer clear. 4, players with criminal timers can no longer dock at Capsuleer outposts. That should have been from the get-go, but whatever. 5, HP and DPS cap adjusted for Corporation Citadels. That's just space paperwork, because they have different HP. So the DPS cap of 2,000, I'm guessing, has been changed for Corporation Citadels. 6, some group module effects only affect squad members now. I am pretty convinced that this means all group module effects can only affect squad members now. The new 51-man fleets, or 51-person fleets, I should say, are going to be 5 groupings of 10-person squads and a fleet commander that's out of the squads. And so one of the things that is very high up in the meta right now for big blob fleets is they utilize group reps, or group cap reps, group armor, group shield reps. So this is saying, listen, yeah, we're giving you your 50-person fleet, but guess what? You're still going to have the same mechanics. It's still going to be based on who is in your squad, which is 10 people, and those people can receive the benefits. Now, this says some. I think it's going to be all, but we'll see. 7. Mining belts in normal systems will start a 15-minute despawn timer after the remaining mineral volume drops below 30%. That might not seem like a huge deal. It's a huge deal for industrial corps, because what a lot of industrial corps do is they'll run mining ops, and during these mining ops they'll have dedicated haulers, and the haulers will pick up the ore that the miners jet can. All well and good if it works properly and is in sync and you have the right amount of haulers for the right amount of miners. But now, shame on you if you don't have enough haulers, because what will happen is if your miners eat 70% of those rocks, that starts a 15-minute timer, and we don't really know if what's going to happen is, will it just get taken off? Will that belt or cluster just get taken off the overview? Or will all of the ore and all of whatever's left, say jet cannons, will all of those stay on the map? Or will those get removed from the map? If those stay on the map, not such a big deal. Just keep somebody in the cluster so that your haulers could come and pick up the jet can ore. If they're wiped off the map completely, then it's no bueno, because it means that the haulers will have to be quicker. You'll have to have enough. Otherwise, they'll just lose access. But if it's just about despawning the belt so another one could spawn, it could be good. So we're going to have to see how that shakes up post-patch. 8, stacked items can now fit into contracts as long as the total amount can fit. So I'm not sure exactly what this means. What I believe this means is that if somebody requests a contract from you, or requests items from you in a contract, what has happened up to this point is if you don't have it split the correct way, you can't accept the contract. I think that this is going to take into account the total that you have in your inventory, and I think it's going to now it will allow you to accept the contract and fulfill those items, which is going to be a big deal for corporations, especially corporations trying to get let's say doctrine fits out to their members. Now they can instruct their members to put up a contract, say for the specific doctrine fit, to say a quartermaster type of individual who is supposed to be stocking a certain set of modules. Now hopefully people will just be able to request what they need in contracts, and that person doesn't have to split stacks from here until the cows come home. 8, adjustments have been made to shuttle capacitors. Yeah, I mean, keep them warping. I don't know why you have these in the. I guess there's a point for them in the game, but there's probably an issue going on, I imagine, with high sec, because they bumped up the warp speeds in high sec, where you have a plus 100% warp speed in high sec, plus 50% warp speed in low sec. What that means is more warps more often. What that means is more capacitor need. So they probably couldn't just port the assets from EVE Online, because people were probably running out of capacitor mid warp in high and low sec. So they probably just needed to just bump up the capacitor for shuttle. No, you can't use these, for any other purpose. So it's fine. 11, Corporation Citadel blueprints are now available for purchase in the market. 12, orders on the market page can now be sorted by distance. We needed that. That is a big deal. It's stupid why you can't do that. But now we need the capability to use multiple filters. We need to be able to sort by distance, and we need to be able to sort by price. 13, new module, resource extraction amplifier added to the Capsuleer outpost. So one of the issues with mining in a system, it seems like, someone will have to correct me, but I've seen, because I don't mine at all, but I've seen issues where if you have more than a certain number of people in a system, that the total mining rate seems to go down. And that seems to, from what I have gleaned, it seems to be a bot fighting feature. It appears that the fix for this is they're going to make you buy something for your Capsuleer outpost as a module that will increase the capability of your miners in the system. I don't know yet. We're going to have to see exactly how it works. I would have loved to have seen a percentage here, some kind of yield increase. But I do have to say, the Eve Echoes patch notes are great. So, I don't really want to give them a lot of shade for this. 14, Inertia Stabilizer and Microwarp modules now have their own unique icons. Inertia Stabilizers and Warp Stabilizers have the same icon, so I'm not sure if this Microwarp drive module is a typo and it should read Warp Stabilizer, or if they're saying two things, that they're going to be changing the icon for the inertia stabilizer so that it's dissimilar from the warp stabilizer, and also that they're changing the icon for the Microwarp drive module so that it's more dissimilar or less similar from the Afterburner module, which is just a different color now of the drive trail. So, like, really, that is helpful. I hope it's the latter. I hope that they're changing both. The max limit for free training is now displayed on the skill page. Totally. They should have been there from day one, because if you have like an alpha account, or if you're banking SP on like the non-max level Omega accounts, like there's a max, and you might not realize that you're gaining 0 SP, because if you click on the little button, it says that you're gaining 70% or something. So yeah, thank you. 16, post-processing rendering efficiency improved. Great. 17, added alliance management skills. The CEO of the Executor Corporation can further increase the max number of corporations in the alliance up to an additional 20 from these skills. Yeah, I talked about this earlier. You're not going to go over this anymore. 18, added a new icon design for inactive modules. Yeah, you needed to have this. Like, you could see inactive modules when you were the fitting screen. I forget if you were able to see them like just on the bottom right of your heads up display, but yeah, it was not functioning like completely correctly. 19. After a corporation recruitment post expires, all players with recruiter permissions will receive a notification. Is anybody reading their notifications in game? Is anybody recruiting? Actually, a lot of people are recruiting in game, but don't recruit in game. Recruit on Discord. Talk to people. There's no gatekeeping anywhere. Well, this is another video. 20. Optimize the issue description field on a report screen. I don't report a lot of players, but I'm guessing that there was a character cap on it. Like, there's a character cap everywhere, and you probably couldn't explain the issue when you were reporting a cheater. 21. If you're missing corporation permissions, a detailed notification will be sent to you. That's great, because right now, if you don't have the permissions in a corporation to do what you want to do, it just doesn't happen, and you're not sure whether or not, like, it's a thing, or you're just, like, space sick in the head. 22. Now NPCs will warp back to their original location after they're out of aggro range. Awesome. We needed this because it was... People were trying to kite around the aggro with mobs, and it was working great. But then one of the things that you could do is you can use, if there's a huge cluster of mobs, you can use a fast warping ship or a fast ship to get into an anomaly from different angles and kite enemies away from the center, and you could effectively split them up into as many groups as you wanted, and you could use that to just like derpy run through it, like just cheese through a site. And they need to put more checks and balances in place that controls the content appropriately, so we have people tackling the appropriate level of content. I remember on day 2 of the game, there were people in my corporation taking out T7 anomalies in a T2, in a T3 frigate. Like, it was insane. Like, keep people out of that. 23. Improve the upper left content display corner. Whatever. I don't know what they're changing it to. They just changed it. I think it's fine, but I'm sure it'll be better. Who knows? Or it'll be worse. 24. Added a second confirmation when choosing to attack Concord. I don't know why you can attack Concord. There's nothing you can get out of it. They insta-blap you. It's not even a fight. You can't attack, like, I don't know. Man, I don't know. I don't know why they're doing this. 25. Faction ship debris can no longer be reprocessed in order to prevent accidental reprocessing. Great. 100%. Like, why would we want to turn a piece of faction debris that's worth 200 mil into, like, whatever it is you get from it? They never thought that faction debris would be as expensive as it is right now, but I'm glad that they're taking steps to avoid pitfalls. 26. Switching screens will not close the fitting interface. I don't know what screens. I don't know what screens this was doing, but it's just a quality of life improvement, so hats off. Great. If an anomaly is currently being removed, okay, even if there are players in it, the anomaly will be removed after 15 minutes. So, like, this is just so you can't hold these things open for forever. But the same thing as the mining changes, we will have to see how this impacts the actual game, whether or not it's going to despawn a site and the items inside it, or it's just going to take a site off the overview. 28. You will now be notified whenever you're removed from a corporation. Yeah, 100%. 29. Whenever a market order is filled, the transaction price will stay the same as the order placed earlier. I think that this was an issue when people were using the sell now function, I think. I'm not sure exactly what this is, but I mean, transaction price shouldn't be moving, right? If only part of your market orders is filled. I'm not sure exactly what this is. 30. A fitting plan can now be applied to the Capsuleer Outpost. Yeah, anything that you could fit, you should be able to save the fit so that you could refit it easily. 31. Add a train now shortcut to skill tips. Tap it to proceed to train that skill. This was needed because in the skill tips, if you went into a skill, if you clicked on it, it would expedite it. So I'm glad they have a train now function, because a lot of the times you just want to see like a particular level and then train to it. So good for them. All Omega characters have up to 30 days of training queue now. Like, dude, why did you... Netties, why did you bury this as number 32 in the third part of this? Like, this should be number 1. This is a huge usability increase. I have no idea why you couldn't queue up more than a single day. Like, it's ridiculous. Most of the skills are more than a day. Well, I mean, a lot of the low levels are less than a day. But yeah, I think most of the skills are more than a day. So, like, don't make me log in with all these BS characters every single day. I have too many characters for that, Netties. Added a new font to the game, whatever. I mean, the font's not awesome, so fine. 35. Corporation search in both contacts and recruit will no longer be case sensitive. Nothing should be case sensitive except passwords. Yeah, 100%. 36. A reminder was added whenever planetary materials are launched. Yeah, again, awesome. Maybe this will make it harder for PI thieves. Not that I necessarily want to make it harder for PI thieves, but make it easier for people picking up PI. That's great. Improve the resolution of Android devices in ultra-high configurations. Doesn't everyone play this on ultra-low? Whenever a Capsuleer outpost is successfully anchored, now only the pilot who anchored it is allowed to enter. Yeah, 100%. Like, don't make me, like, super quick tap it and then nobody could get it. Yeah, this is... So what was happening is people were dropping these outposts, and then Reds are just waiting, man, when you drop an outpost. And then as soon as it gets completed, they were going on in, they were setting, and they were just, like, saving the location. So, yeah, 100%. Fix the activation cost of energy neutralizers. All right, yeah, I'm glad you did that. So, look, to sum it all up, huge amount of usability increases, huge amount of new content coming, and we're going to see what's next in Deleted with us together in space for now. Okay, bye.